I've got some team members, they've got a lot of stuff up in that dome of theirs, right? Like our Eric Disco, Matt Alimo, where a lot of the things that we've built over the years are from them, with their help of them. So if they were to exit, well, that creates a bit of a challenge, right? I'm sure you all have some people like that. So that's that institutional knowledge. I will tell you this, now this might be a plug to Mastermind, but it's also true, and it gives me a little bit extra sleep at night, is because of everything is housed within Mastermind. If we were to lose somebody that has great impact, we have it all within the Mastermind team. Same thing for all of you. So for example, we're kind of like the cloud where information, this institutional knowledge is stored. So if you lost a team member, well, you didn't lose all that knowledge because you have it, and we can now upload it to somebody else. So for me, it's very helpful to know that, hey, I've got a whole extra section here if something didn't go right, which is always nice to have. Okay, so organizational knowledge is one reason we want to keep people. Two, cost. Dino was talking about cost. High turnover rate, it leads to increased recruitment costs because you got to pay to recruit, not just the monsters and the hierarchies, but also your time to do that recruiting, the time for your best team members to sit down with potential hires. So definitely there's a lot of costs involved with turnover. Productivity and performance. Okay, this is your top. If you can retain your top team members, well, they're performing great. So if they were to exit, that means we're going to have to replace them. So that's where we're going to lose some production. So that's where it's a really important thing to retain. And culture, we mentioned culture, where not just for members, but also for team members. It's the worst thing when a new team member starts and says, oh yeah, you'll probably be here for a couple of weeks. That's not a great culture to have within your environment in your company. So culture is a big one that we're going to get by retaining people. And then lastly, recruitment, right? Success breeds success. When you have a great team that sticks with you, you will be able to recruit more team members because they see, oh wow, people have been here for 5, 10, 15 years. There must be something to it. And of course, you're going to get more recruits. And I talked about this before, up to 30% of our staff comes from referrals, right, on our anytime side. And that is really helpful because it says great things about the culture, but also you get a better team member, less chance of them leaving in the beginning when it's referred from somebody else. So lots of great reasons to make sure that we're putting emphasis on retention. And that's why we're talking about it today. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the 5 strategic pillars to keeping top talent. So we're going to go through each one of these. And you want to be thinking as you're looking through this, all right, how are you doing in relationship to what should be done? And take some notes on where you want to pad it up a little bit. All right. Number 1 is assess and set goals. And we're going to go into depth on them. Number 2 is we need to make sure that we build a positive and collaborative culture. Number 3 is to offer growth paths. Number 4 is to make sure that we have good pay and benefits. And lastly, reward and recognize. All right, so these are the pillars, if you will, that's going to make sure that if you're not getting the retention you want, you start going through each one. I'll give you an analogy. It's like laser, right? If we're trying to drive in traffic, leads, appointments. What's after appointments? Oh, yes. Shows, enrollments, and then referrals. So as you look at that, you can figure out, well, what's broken and you fix that, or what needs improvement. Same thing here. You can go through this wheel, if you will, and figure out, well, hey, I've got really good collaborative culture. I don't really have any growth plans. Maybe I'll spend some time working on that. Okay. All right. So use this as a tool. All right. Number 1, this is a bigger section. So assess and set goals. Just like anything that matters, right? You got to measure it. If it doesn't matter, don't bother measuring it. So it's very important to make sure that we're measuring the things that are important. So I'm going to say that one more time. Measure the things that are important, because otherwise you're either saying to you and your team that they're not important, or you're just, putting too much on your measurement sticks, and that's not necessary. Okay. So number 1 is, what are your retention rates? This is synonymous with, what are your attrition rates for your members? So same thing. How many people are staying? Attrition, of course, is how many are leaving. So we use the word, how many people are staying with you and how long are they staying? So if you don't know that information, definitely that would be an action step. Go figure out what your retention rate is on your team members. All right, and figure out how long do they stay for? How long do they stay for? Number two is, what are the reasons that they leave? So if your turnover, doesn't matter if it's a low turnover, high turnover, what is the reasons that they're leaving? Are they leaving for other jobs, more money, bad culture, better culture? What are the reasons you're having turnover, right? Making sure we're doing those exit interviews. Number three is, so once you have those rates of retention, once you have the reason of turnover, set some clear retention goals, right? You saw mine on that screen was, I think was at 24%. So let's say yours is at 60% rolling for the year. How do we get that down? 50, 40. If you have a 50% retention rate, that means you also have a 50% attrition rate, meaning half of the people with you today are not going to be with you next June. So that could be a challenge for your business. Okay. All right. Now you'll want to analyze your team's engagement. So that would be another thing that you need to assess. And we'll talk about how to do that. Okay.